All right, we're live.
Oh, right.
Fun.
I'll pretend I know what I'm doing.
Cheers. Well, should we launch into it and just get going?
Yes, that sounds like fun.
All
All
right.
right, so you guys, welcome to the Tipsy Ellipses. I am Suzanne Kearns. I'm a mom and ... writer, LGBTQ ally, and today I'm a voter. Can you see my voter sticker?
Oh, good for you.
Oh, good timing.
Yes.
Yeah, and for people who are listening to this, it is our Facebook Live version. So you can go to our Facebook and see all the things that we referred to that are images or visuals needed.
You're hearing Suzanne's ice crunching in her.
Sorry, I got it. My visual. Okay, I'll be quiet while you produce
a lot of audio visuals tonight. Anyway, I am Missy Stevens. I'm a mom and ... writer, crazy plant lady, and today bourbon drinker. Just today,
only
today.
First time
for the Derby. Never had it before. So we have a couple things to let everybody know before we get going. One is if you've never been to Tipsy Ellipses before, or if you've never even heard the podcast before, and this is your first foray into mom and ... this is not normal. We do this once a month. We truly are tipsy. We will run it. It'll be a bonus episode on the podcast, and you can find it on Facebook, but this is not really our normal fare. We keep it kind of loose.
Yes.
Really
And
loose.
probably we should do a little preemptive just in case you're in a car with littles listening. You might want to put the headphones in. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll probably behave. We usually do, but just in case our guest is really to drop some. No, just kidding.
Do you bleep these when you load
them? If necessary, but
yeah.
I just give a little warning here.
All right. You ready to introduce our guest, or do you want me to do it? Your mouth's full of bourbon?
Oh, no. Well, first, you know what? Before we jump into it, because I have a feeling we're going to get so excited. We've never had a guest before. And
it's crazy.
Kind of like anybody who's had a guest over for the first time since the year of COVID. I don't know that we remember how to guest, right? Like we're probably not very good hosts. And we'll probably forget to say some of the things I wanted to do, because one of the purposes of our Tipsy Ellipses is to look back and thank the people from the month ahead or month behind. We don't look ahead to behind. But so we've had Alison Tedford from the book Chronic Prophet, Kristin van Ogtrop. Did I say that out loud? I probably have a few of these books around here. Boop. And then Janice Scholl doesn't have it. Wait, does she have a book yet? We may have to bleep this one. She does not yet, does she?
I don't think so.
She should
go back and edit in there.
Janice, we're so sorry if you have a book. We're going to edit it in.
Like an online program and several chats that you can go sign up for.
In our tipsiness and our book confusion, we forgot to mention the name of Janice's podcast, which is the Money, Career, and Motherhood podcast, which we will link to in the show notes. Thanks, Janice.
Yes, she should have a book because she is amazing. And then Michelle Garrett, of course, from Divas with a Purpose, and the Soul Refresh sets, which we will link to because those are perfect for Mother's Day.
I ordered some cards and the book. There's like an affirmations book, and then there's these card sets all available on the Soul Refresh set site. So I ordered a couple things.
I did order mine. I hope they're not in the mailbox today because they'll probably be floating around in there if they are. But I did check to make sure. Oh, you know what? I did check my mailbox today because I got my nice card from you.
Oh,
thank you. Oh, in honor of here, we're just going to show all the books. Nancy Davis Coe's The Thank You Project. Oops, I showed you the back of the card. There's the front of the card. Behind every great woman is another great woman replying to her frantic texts in the middle of the night. We all know.
I love it.
Well, thank you. That was such a fun surprise.
You're welcome.
Nancy was right. It does mean more to the people who get it. Okay. So, tonight for the very first time, you probably noticed if you are watching this, we have our very first guest ever on a Tipsy Ellipses. So lucky you, instead of just listening to us babble, you'll get to hear from our incredible friend, Kate Strzinek. Did I say that right, Kate?
You got it.
Yay! So Kate is a mom and ... artist, interior design enthusiast, and plant fanatic. She lives in Round Rock, Texas with her husband, teenagers, chickens. I want to hear more about that, and dogs. And Kate's evolving career path has included corporate operations management, couture. I never say that right. I have a minor in French and I can never say that right. Couture, sales and design, interior and landscape design, and lots of volunteer fundraising. She is known as a home decor icon, curating items with meaning to turn houses into homes of any scale. So, and I'm so jealous that you two are together and I'm here in my closet.
I was just thinking, how amazing is it that people don't have to look at my box of t-shirts like they do in every episode?
But you look at my little IKEA boxes of crafts behind us. So.
Yeah, well, that's so much better.
Oh, yours is gorgeous. So, okay.
Later,
So, yeah.
we'll like turn the computer, this is the office of this home and it's stunning. What we really can do is rent it out so we can record here.
Yeah, this could be the podcast studio.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. We should do that. And especially because I'm out of bourbon and I think you guys have some more there. Look at mine.
We have so much.
You have so much.
So much.
Have you had so much?
Well, we've had the traditional Kentucky Derby dinner of Indian takeout. So I'm lucky you can't hear that I'm sitting here burping up my Indian on my well, I won't say on another bourbon.
Yes. Well, maybe I am glad I'm in my closet for this one. And I'm sorry for my crunching ice. You know what? I usually drink my bourbon straight, but for the Kentucky Derby, my mom lives at this over 55 place and they do like a craft every week. And this week they made the big hats with all the flowers and stuff. Yeah. And they're having a fun party tonight. So she's like, I'm drinking mint juleps. I was like, I've never had a mint julep. And so, oh, mine's empty already. Can you hear it?
Now you just need to top it off with your bullet.
That's why I brought the other one in here. And I had to go to my neighbor's yard and steal her mint.
Did you creep over?
No. I asked permission first. She escorted me back there. She had 3 kinds of mint to choose from.
Kate has a whole mint garden. How many are out there?
I think 8. Yeah. I didn't even know there were that many kinds of mint. And then I was at the garden store and I was like, I need to just make a mint garden. There's pineapple mint. It doesn't taste like pineapple, but it's variegated and it's very pretty.
Oh my gosh. And now how do you keep them from running into each other? Because I know back when we lived in Seattle, mint will take over Seattle if left unattended. So you have to have it in a confined thing. So do the mints all battle for the planter or do they have to be separated?
I'll let you know because I have them in one of those like horse trough galvanized things and they're all in there together. So it will be the battle of the mints. Right now they each kind of have an area and I don't know. I mean,
you might just have to
win.
Harvest them every day.
I did a good harvest for the Derby.
Yeah.
I had a plethora and then I didn't have time to make simple syrup for a julep because normally I'm pretty straightforward with my bourbon.
Yes.
And so I was trying to muddle the mint and then it's in my teeth and I think aren't you supposed to steep the mint with the simple syrup to make like a minty syrup and then there's no shrubbery in your
it's just like a little
mine are in here. So tell me if I have green stuff in my teeth. I just used the back of a wooden spoon to smush it, but I did make the simple syrup. I just made it in the microwave in a little mason jar.
What? I should have done that.
Yeah, I just put a mason jar in there, got it hot, put some of the sugar in there, and then I cooked it for like another 30 seconds, and then I just let it hang out there for the afternoon.
Sorry, I should have done that.
Wouldn't have even occurred to me. Like that's genius.
See, that's what I'm here for. You do the actual design and beautiful things, and I just boil sugar water. I also do it for the hummingbirds. Not the mint juleps, the hot water.
I'm sure. I just read, so of course now this is going to be super unhelpful because I don't remember the details, but I guess some people were using honey or like natural sugar or brown sugar or something like that. Do not do that for your hummingbirds. Make sure it's just white sugar.
I saw that their tongues get stuck out and then they can't keep drinking because it's the brown sugar or the not white sugar.
Yeah,
and
like
then I saw this thing online where their tongue is sticking out of their beak and then if they can't eat, then they end up dying. And it's so sad because people are trying to make organic hummingbird food, but they just want basic Domino.
Yeah. White sugar, grocery store, plain sugar.
And no food coloring either, right?
No.
That whole red thing was a myth our whole lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
There.
Yeah, they don't care at all.
Oh my gosh. See, you guys, we're educating people. No grapes for dogs.
Oh yeah, we learned that recently.
No honey for hummingbirds. No artificial colors. I love it. And so, okay, so Kate, I have hung out with you at the Mom 2 conference, as comes up. I think that's our goal, is just to bring that up at least once in every episode. Is to
I think so far we have.
You have every single guest.
pretty much.
I mean,
So
we had
yes, I was told about you by saying, do you remember? It's my friend Kate. She has all the little tiny, cute, adorable, tiny things. And I was like, oh yeah. So is that how people usually refer to you, or is it as the elegant haute couture designer?
Probably not couture. What I think is so funny is that you're one of the first people, well, maybe the only person that I spent the night with the first day I met them.
Oh.
And shared a room for Mom 2. And it was so fun, and it just felt so natural and so right. But I've never done that before. I was like, okay.
And it kind of was a one-night stand, because I haven't really seen you since.
I know. Well, I mean, I cyber stalk you and I follow the podcast, but I mean, in real life, that was it. So, so we'll have to get together in real life, but
I can't wait. I can't wait. And that's actually how Missy and I met too. I think the first time we ever met was when we were in a hotel room being like, nice to meet you.
Did you literally meet?
No, we met.
We met one time before that.
Yeah, like we had coffee one time before that and figured out we were both going to Irma, I think it was. Right. And we'll put the Irma Bombeck Writers Workshop in our show notes.
Yes.
It's a good one. And we figured out we were both going, and we were like, hey, you want to be roommates? So like, I think we had coffee once and then slept together, sort of.
Yes. Okay. We're redone. These really don't make a lot of stuff. I don't know if I know what an ounce is.
No, you really have to measure it out in a shot glass, and then you're like, oh, I drink more than that.
Yeah. I mean, what's the...
And usually we just use the giant ice cube, if that.
Yeah. Oh, mine's melted, but yeah.
I like to talk about my favorite bourbon is Buffalo Trace.
Oh yes.
Size.
That is okay. So here's my question for you about, because people got to know you like 10 times more than they know us. You have a huge Instagram following is DomestiKateThis. Is that how you like to pronounce it? Or is it DomestiKateThis? Or it's
DomestiKateThis.
DomestiKateThis. The most adorable little miniatures of everything. Things that you would never think that there are miniatures of. Where do you get those? Do you make them? Do you buy them? Is there a special store where one can get a tiny bourbon? Because I would like a little tiny bullet.
Yes, you definitely need a little tiny bullet.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. It all started where I was going for a walk with one of my girlfriends. I had formed an LLC for DomestiKate. I'd been doing a bunch of shows and sort of doing a houseware pop-up shop type thing and just doing gifts and stuff. And that was fine. But I was on a walk with a girlfriend, and I was all into, did you guys read the KonMari book about, going through and does
sparking joy?
Does this bring you joy? Yes or no, and whatever. And so I was talking about it with my girlfriend on a walk, and she said, I have this dollhouse that my grandfather and my dad worked so hard for months making for me. And she had it in her office, and in each of the rooms, she was storing all of her office supplies. Like she had, papers and hole punches and stuff in there, and it had nothing to do with what it was, but she had the guilties getting rid of it, and it meant nothing to her.
Yeah.
But I immediately saw it. And it sparked so much joy in me that I literally picked it up at the end of our walk, brought it home, and then decided, okay, now what am I going to do with this dollhouse? I've got teenagers who don't care about this stuff anymore. We have no toys. And so I started getting on Pinterest and looking for mini stuff. And, as a kid, I like dolls and mini stuff, but looking, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to recreate my life in miniature. And I started trying to find all the patterns that are in our home and trying to shrink them down into 1/12 size. And I started this Instagram, which was my kids and my family following, and it just immediately took off. People just were fascinated by tiny. And then, it just sort of went crazy. And that's how it began. But when you ask where I get it all, I make some stuff, mostly like YouTube tutorials and learning from the masters. But then I buy a ton of stuff on Etsy. There's a bunch of stuff. And then now, because my Instagram is pretty big, a lot of artists will send me pieces to feature.
Ooh.
So they're getting traffic to their shop.
Yeah.
And I get something more beautiful than I could ever make. So it kind of works out. And then I try to make myself, challenge myself to try to make some of the things myself as well. So it's sort of a hybrid if you look at my things that I've made or things that I've purchased online.
Oh, it's just so fun. Y'all, if you are not already following the Instagram account, DomestiKateThis, and it's DomestiKate, Kate.
Yes.
Like the name. And oh my gosh, so fun. It's so fun. And what was my question going to be about? Oh, because you originally, your trade is in actual interior design, correct?
So I'm all over the map. I'm not classically trained in interior design. I started in sort of operations right after college. I actually majored in human sexuality in college, and I haven't used that beyond teaching my teenagers about human sexuality.
Ooh, we need to talk.
No, we were
y'all
talking
do.
about that earlier because we have a lot of the same interests, but
And philosophy on teaching it.
definitely. But then, I had an office job, and then when I had my first child, I wanted to be home with her, and I got a job for a bridal designer in Manhattan, and I lived in Washington, DC at the time, and they needed a regional person. And so it was awesome because it was custom couture. So I could design bridal gowns and the whole bridal party. It was just, I had samples of fabric and then different silhouettes, and we could put different pieces together. And it was like playing real life paper dolls.
Oh, wow.
And so it was awesome because I did that for years, either with Molly in the extra saucer, or I had a little girl down the street that was sort of a mother's helper that would play with her while I would have a client over and meet with the whole bridal party and measure them and order the stuff. And I did that forever. And I've always loved design and color and patterns and anything design and artistic. And so that was sort of my first job out of the corporate world because I wanted to be able to be home with my kids. And so I did that for quite a while in DC.
Very cool. So, okay. So you did not have formal design training?
No. Well, my mom's sort of a genius in that department. Mm-hmm. So I think I was,
also sort of a genius in that department.
No, I mean, I just kind of lived in that world of, she has an amazing style. And so I sort of lived in that world. And then,
and they had stores, right? So you were merchandising from a young age.
I grew up, and my parents owned a linen shop, which they franchised. So my aunt had one, my grandfather had one, my mom had one, my dad. And so I grew up getting off the school bus and going to the shop and working. And this was before the days of Bed Bath & Beyond, where you would have people in and they would choose their linens and their shower curtains and all their stuff. And so I kind of like the sales piece, and then also the colors and the design. And there was always a color wheel in my home and that kind of thing.
That is so cool. Okay. So now you were doing that, and then what was next?
So I was doing that. And then that business that I worked for, it was called Serafina, and they ended up not making it after several years of success. And then I went into just helping friends with interior design for several years and just charging an hourly, and then just sort of assessing the situation, helping people pick fabrics and colors. I was able to start an LLC, get a tax ID, and be able to help them. And I did that for a long time. And then we moved to Texas, and, the whole time I was able to stay home with my kids and then just sort of do this during school hours. Mm-hmm. And then this whole weird KonMari dollhouse thing happened. And I didn't realize that my little passion project of playing with this dollhouse that I picked up for free from my friend would turn into sort of an influencer type gig, where I would start, once my audience got big enough, I started getting a bunch of brand deals where, making things for different brands, and then being a part of bigger projects. And it just kind of morphed into a thing. Mm-hmm.
How big is this dollhouse?
Pardon me? Oh, darn it. It's right over there in the closet. It's sort of a mess because my husband and I share this office. And when I say share, since the pandemic, it's his office.
Yeah. Can I rotate?
Well, it's kind of, I moved.
I mean, you
everything.
can't really see, but behind that is Scott's stuff.
Okay.
So we have like a whiteboard, but anyway, we don't share. This is his office during the day, and it smells like beef jerky and farts.
Not right now.
No, I've been, the candle blew out, but I was burning a candle for me.
You had to cleanse it.
Oh,
well, now we're repopulating with Indian food. So,
yeah, but this was sort of my creative space. And then, he doesn't think the dollhouse in the background of his Zoom calls for work is appropriate. So we've sort of neutralized the space and scaled it down.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to need a virtual tour of that as a post-production virtual tour.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I need to get back. I need to pull it all out because now I'm just like pulling out individual minis as I work with them because I don't want to leave a big mess behind his presentations and stuff.
Yes. Now, okay. So I'm curious what brought you to Texas. I mean, I came all the way from Seattle to Texas and everybody's like, why? So what brought you here?
You know, I mean, not to be like a total downer, but after 9/11, Scott and I were just like, I think he had PTSD from just watching the fighter jets fly over us. We worked at the Watergate. We saw the Pentagon on fire. Like it was just hard. And so I'm home. We lived in Northern Virginia. I'm home with the kids, and he would take the metro in. And then, do you guys remember it wasn't sarin gas. What was it? There was something that we were afraid of. There was something we were afraid was going to be dropped into the subway. Anthrax. And then we had like anthrax tablets, and then we had these plans, these escape plans that if daddy can't leave the district, this is what we're going to do. And like we lived this weird thing.
Tying it all full circle, that's the antibiotic that Kristin Van Ogtrop was on. That's what you used to fight anthrax.
The one that blows right?
The one that blows up your tendons. Yeah. That's when you know it's serious. It's like used to treat anthrax poisoning. I'm like, I need this for a fire ant bite.
Right. I can't remember what I took it for, but I remember being terrified because then after that, they're like, well, you can't exercise for
a year.
Yeah. Any strenuous exercise for like a year because it has a major, like every tendon ruptures and catastrophic ruptures too, not just like a little tear.
And that was an ant bite.
Well, I had a fire ant bite that went to hell, and it was like 5 months of wobbling around and every antibiotic. But when we were interviewing Kristin Van Ogtrop for her new book, she couldn't even celebrate the release because you can't drink when you're on this.
No.
And she's like, the things that I would usually do, or you like go out.
Teeth stuff.
Yeah, it was teeth stuff. But
it was a lot of stuff. Yeah.
He's like, I can't go out to celebrate because COVID. I can't have a drink to celebrate because antibiotic, and she can't exercise because your Achilles tendon will rupture if you. There's a good chance of it while you're on this thing. So we promised we would have a drink for her eventually. So here we are, Kristin. Cheers. There you go. Although the release was like 2 weeks ago.
So tell us some of the things that some of the brands, well, I don't know if you want to shout out brands. We don't do that. But things that you've made or that you've gotten and then curated and like how you've used them and what you use to make the tiny things. And
well, let me go back a little bit. So I start making stuff. I start watching YouTube videos and playing around making stuff. Start getting followers. Then I'm like, I love minis. So I looked, and there's national organizations that I joined. And then there's also a local organization, shout out to Lone Star Miniatures, who meet at a Hobby Lobby off of 183 in their workroom. We haven't met since COVID. And it's so fun because it's a bunch of fellow miniaturists who meet once a month, and then one person is in charge of the craft. So we have a meeting with parliamentary procedure, like full scale. And then we go mini, and somebody leads us through a craft. So once a year, I'm in charge of making a miniature with everybody. And then we have a killer Christmas party where everybody trades minis. And it's super, super fun. And
Oh, can we crash and just watch?
yeah, like Hobla, you know. But so I got involved in that, and then there is like a state of Texas group, and we normally, I don't know why we weren't meeting in Killeen for years, and then they didn't meet last year because of COVID. Hopefully we'll do October this year. But there are a lot of people into minis, and I've seen, I mean, you guys probably don't have the same feed that I do and the same scale, but
I don't know.
once you like something though, then
you
like,
start seeing
yeah,
it.
especially if you go to the suggested posts. So I see a ton of mini stuff.
You do?
I mean, there's a lot there. Yeah.
Well, I know. And I have had a couple of friends who are like, no offense, but my whole feed was turning mini and I had to unfollow you. No, but there are, you know, there's a national convention in Vegas, like there's a whole world, but I have seen a couple of articles recently that during the panty, people have turned to miniature arts, that it's something that you can do with your hands. It's small. You can use recyclables and remnants and little pieces of this and that. And it's fun to do for your kids. There's one woman, and now I'm forgetting her name to shout her out, who did 1/6 scale, which is Barbie scale. You know, there's a whole world depending on your scale. So I work in 1/12, which is dollhouse scale, which is like 1 inch equals 1 foot, where 1/6 is Barbie scale. So there's a whole world of things that are Barbie size. And this one woman was a single mom working hard, and she would at night, after she put her kids to bed, use her Amazon boxes and recycling and make 1/6 scale Barbie everything, just from tutorials, just like coming up with a scrap of this and a piece of this and stuff from around the house, and made just amazing stuff. So there's some really fun stuff out there, and you can get crazy. And now I'm sort of into collecting from real, like, amazing artists. There's a grandfather in England who he's called the Wee Deli. Now, it's a Wee Deli, but when you read it, it says Weed Deli. And so then you start getting a bunch of marijuana stuff, but it's Wee because it's
like
tiny. He started by making polymer clay food for his granddaughter, and it went crazy. And now he's on Etsy, and he has this amazing shop, and he has made just incredible stuff. So like, here's an example of a pizza.
Oh my gosh.
Detail of that.
It's crazy.
Like, I can't do that. Now I can share it and I can give credit where credit is due, but I can't do that.
Yeah. Oh my, yes. My old lady eyes would not, I could have like a super magnifying glass
to like,
people who are really good at models, and like those people who can do ships in a bottle and those types of things.
And the teeny tiny, and I mean, I think I need glasses just to read what's written in front of me, but to make teeny tiny. And like, one of my favorite pieces, for example, this is this artist that I can share in your show notes, this little cheese board. I think you shared it.
Yes, I shared that. Ooh, I might be able to look it up and give them a shout out. I just noticed a text from my husband saying they're staying out for another hour.
And this was one of my first pieces. And I mean, you know, charcuterie is the thing. And I was so obsessed with her tiny that I ordered this from the Netherlands. And so it is really fun to connect with these incredible artists, where I've sort of just become an influencer. Like, the stuff that I actually make isn't that incredible, but the style of it is mine and the look is mine. And I really do try to recreate my life in miniature. And my daughter recently got into college, and I had made a mini from when we went to visit her school, and the school reposted my mini. And so I was like, Molly, you're going to get in because they reposted it. And then she did. And Domestikate had something to do with this. And she was like, no, it was probably my essay and my SAT scores, but thanks.
Might be that I worked really hard to get into college.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Like, mom, let go.
So. Okay. So now I need to know, like, is there any competitiveness? I mean, because I got to be like, is it who does the best pizza, or is it who comes up with the most like original idea that no one's thought of before? Like, what's the goal?
So I think community-wise, there's no competition, and that's what I love because I'm not a competitive person.
Mhm.
I love that everybody respects each other's art and wants to learn and grow from each other. But I definitely think there is a thing about finding the most unique way to take the image. So today, if you can imagine, I wish I had it to show, but today one of my favorite artists posts a pistachio shell. Like imagine a pistachio shell open with a miniature ice cream cone of pistachio ice cream cone in the shell, and was like, pistachio ice cream is my favorite. And it was just like, oh my gosh, it's the magic of how you show it. You know, like my tacos in a field of cilantro. You know, just showing the scale. And I think people try to outdo each other with the creativity of how they share it. But as far as the art is concerned, I think what I like about it is artists just want to share their art. They don't want to compete or
beat someone.
It's not about winning.
Yes. Well, so you have to be a really good photographer too. Have you done photography classes? Like, is that something you learned as you went, or how'd that go?
No, like all of my pictures are taken on my iPhone,
and they're amazing. Like the color is always perfect. It's like they're bright and
I mean, I've kind of learned but because when I got into this and my following started getting bigger, Scott bought me photography lessons. It was like so much math, like real photography. You have to have the this and the that. And the man was so nice, and he'd come over, and like I had all the tools, and it was just so hard. And honestly, my iPhone's just fine. And all of my pictures are mine. Like I use my own pictures, but then it all is my hand. And so that's kind of how you know it's mine, is you can see the back of my wedding band and engagement band. And so no secrets, no special trickery or photography. We tried that, and I just didn't have the mind for learning exposure and all the things.
That's a lot.
Photography for real it's a real art. I'm not.
Okay, so now you've got the miniature art, you've got the photography, and now you have to be a hand model too. So are you like? What was a hand model? Was that on Seinfeld?
No, I do have lotion before pictures. So you don't see scales. And luckily it's the inside of my hand and not the liver spots on the top of my hand. No brown spots or wrinkles. But there's I definitely have a little bit of a tremor. So depending on my caffeine level, my picture image is not as great, but
yes. Oh my God. Well, that's a lot. Okay. So you've got all that stuff going on. Are you doing still home design stuff?
So currently I'm working with 2 different clients, and I'm trying to mesh interior design with landscape design. And much like my interior design capabilities, I don't have a landscape design degree yet, but Missy and I, have you finished your application?
I haven't finished my application.
I haven't even started it.
But what are you doing now?
Meeting, and we are going to be
master gardeners.
We can say that.
Yeah,
we can say that.
I mean, there's a chance we won't get into the program, but
there's no chance.
But I think we're going to be master gardeners.
Oh my gosh, we need to follow this journey.
Master gardeners to be specific. So that coursework starts in August. If we get
so cool.
And but anyway, right now I'm working with 2 different families, helping them design their pool and outside space. So that includes a planting area, and then also helping them find the furniture and accessories and all that jazz. And so I learned how to make this week style boards. You know how people always post like cute style boards?
Yes.
And then all the little links. And so you could have and I just Googled how to make a client style board, and I did that. And luckily, when I say my clients, luckily I know them, and they trust me. They've seen what I've done. They've seen my house. So they trust me, but hopefully that will be a good kind of, I don't know, parlay into that world of plants.
Ooh, we just finalized our plans for our backyard redo. I wish I would have known that was one of your things.
But you have like a landscape architect, we have
a landscape architect, and they've been they've really done a great design, and I've been super annoying. So they've put up with a lot. Shout out to Craft Outdoor. But But yeah, so I'm very hopeful, knock on wood, that within like the next month or two, we're going to get some ground broken on this, because it's one of those things where you don't well, I guess some people clean before the maid comes, but like I don't clean before the maid comes, and I am not doing to that backyard until, I mean, it's all going to get
torn up.
destroyed.
Why would you spend money?
Yes, but so it's just horrible right now, and I feel sorry for any of our neighbors who can look in the back. It looks like it's being taken over. It's like Chernobyl, where they show the buildings being reclaimed by plants. That's what our backyard looks like right now.
Is it going to be a long process, or once they start, will they be able to just do a turnaround in a week, or what's it going to be like?
You know what? It's going to be so much based on people's availabilities. Like I just had to find a new deck guy because their typical deck guy was going to be booked out for so long. So now we got the deck that can probably start in the middle of June. And they said that'll be like a 2-day thing, but we've got like a Gabion rock wall going up. We've got a bunch of,
I don't know what that is. What is Gabion?
It looks like a bunch of rocks in bondage. It's like, imagine
like in a mesh,
you pour the rocks into.
Yeah, so it's like a big.
Yes, we were just talking about that with my parents. Anyway, like it's like not chicken wire, but like
kind of like great big strong chicken wire, and then there's a bunch of rocks in it. So I got to decide which rocks I want to put in it.
Oh yeah.
But coming out of that is going to be a fountain. And so we got to pick out, and then there's this really fancy fireplace we're ordering. So he's like, well, you need to figure out your fountain, what do you call it? The fountain receptacle.
Yeah.
So that it matches whatever thing that we pick for this fire table thing that is going to cost more than my first car. And then now, since we've got this hot tub coming sometime in July, August, because hot tubs, good luck getting one of those. It's like the hottest thing
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. But then I decided, because I didn't realize, now that I'm in a hot tub Facebook group, which is,
I mean, it sounds dirty.
it kind of is. It kind of is. And I'm in 2 of them. But I've learned how important it is to shower before you get in there.
Yes.
Because any kind of soap you have, even they're like, do not wash your swimsuit in soap.
What?
Because any kind of soap or other material like just totally destroys the pH balance of the chemicals and stuff in there. Yeah.
No. I mean, we have a hot tub and
that's what, and then there's other people who are like, screw that. I just want to get my hot tub when I get my hot tub. And if I need to change my filters twice as much, fine. Yeah.
My pool boy, also my husband. I mean, he takes care of the chemicals and stuff. Yeah.
Well, so we will see. But in the meantime, I'm like, well, what if we did an outdoor shower?
Yes.
And
so now I'm working on that. So I had a plumber come the other day because we're going to run a gas line under the deck to go in the fancy fire table. And then we're going to do the shower. And then we're going to do all this stuff. And then we got to have the custom metal fabricator for all these planters that are going to be there. And
I want an outdoor shower and an outdoor potty, because
outside,
well,
like it would be in
wet
some sort of
Technically, the outdoor shower, I'm pretty sure, will be the outdoor potty.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like our bathroom to get in from the outside, like you go all the way through the house and down the hall to get to the potty. And grown-ups are not a problem, but children just run right in wet. Like they got to go potty, they're going to go now. Like, yeah.
Well, did I tell you last year when we were selling and buying all the houses, which one was it? It was when we were selling our house in Austin. We needed to be out of there for like the inspection or whatever. Yeah. And you can rent, thanks to Wendy Aarons, I found out, I think it was Wendy who said this, you can rent a pool. Mm-hmm. It's like Airbnb, but for pool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so so we did that. So we found one in our neighborhood that we could rent for a couple hours because, it was hot and it was COVID. So where are you going to take 2 kids?
Right.
For this time. So we went to, and it ended up being a classmate of my son's pool. So that's just kind of a weird dynamic to be like, we're here renting your pool. And the kid kept looking over the fence like, But at one point, my son had to go to the bathroom and he would not go in the pool. He did not want to go in their yard. I was like, I can't take you back home. There's the middle of the inspection. And yeah, and it's in COVID, so I don't want to send you inside this person's house. So yeah, outdoor potty, good idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, my kids are boys and most of their friends are also boys and they just go in the yard. No problem.
Oh yeah. No, that's what it will be, because I'll have to send you the plan. You can comment and critique our plan.
So when do you start?
Well, it's all.
You're not for the hot tub. Can't you do the other stuff?
Yes. So on Friday, I had the final call. The guys from Craft Outdoor on Instagram, they're doing. You can see if you go to their Instagram page, they are doing this project in Dripping Springs. It must be like 5 acres. I don't even know what's happening. And so I told him, I was like, I've got this deck guy that's ready to go, like in early whatever month this is. No, June, the next month. I was like, is that even possible? I mean, I see how much you guys are working on this. So we're doing it step by step, because I'm trying to honor. I don't want to like make him feel like he has to half-ass it, and I don't want him to feel like I'm like, finish your job in Dripping Springs that's like probably giving you 100 times more money than we're giving you.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the same thing is like with the deck, everybody agrees. It's just kind of more of it's a pretty straightforward project when it comes down to it. But so I think we're pretty good to hopefully start in mid-June. And then, yeah, it's just a matter of, the new concrete steps need to be in, but the lighting goes inside of those. So that needs to happen before the deck can come in, and the gas line has to be laid before the deck can go in. And
But will they give you a plan for your dog's potty situation during all of this? I mean, are you guys going to be going for walks, or
they can go in the front yard?
Yeah, we can go in the front yard, and the bear can just jump over the fence.
Yeah, the front is fenced in, but yeah, you just have to keep bear from escaping, right?
Yeah,
that's the whole thing with projects with dogs. It's like I just need to be able to open the door.
Yeah. No, that'll be fine. And I don't think bear will usually. I didn't tell you yesterday. We were on a walk, and 2 dogs that are bear size that usually like bark and they do the whole fence thing while we're walking, jumped over their fence to come see him. So they come running across the road, barreling towards it. Of course they've been like bark, 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 and then they run over there, and the guy's like screaming, sorry, and they all get together, and then they don't know what to do. Like, we've barked at each other for weeks now. Now,
but there was like a quick sniff, and then
they sniffed, and then there was kind of a little, and then, well, because there were 2 of them, and one a bear, so I think he was like, and luckily the owner came and got him or whatever. But so apparently my dog is not the only one that jumps over fences. So,
I mean, bear is like, I don't know how tall he is. I'm trying to think on my body, like. He's very big. We
walked by a Great Dane the other day, and he definitely recognized, like, that is the only dog I've ever seen that's taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
You saw yeah, it was like, yeah, he was like, what? He's very tall, but he's not. The DNA test says not Great Dane, but
who knows? Who knows?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So no, okay, we got a little distracted with my.
But I think that what makes Kate's journey so great for our podcast is that she is like, her daughter's about to go off to college. Her son's not terribly far behind.
Yes,
time to figure out what's next and figure out what she's going to do. And she has this platform she's built, and clearly like 1,000 talents that she can use. So it's kind of what's next and. How are you going about making that decision right now?
So it's a weird springboard for so long, I was home while everybody was at work and at school, and home was my place. And that's where I did my work, whatever my work was, whether I was working for a client or playing with minis and being an influencer and working with brands. And then I just sort of stopped during COVID because Scott moved into my creative space, and it's not his fault, but I was just like, and everybody's here all the time. And so I've had this, I don't know how you say, I've had this time where I'm like I'm really feeling the change of turning empty nest. Like my daughter's going to school for sure in the fall, and my son's going to be a junior. I got 2 more years. That's going to fly by.
Yeah.
I need to make something a full-time gig because they've been my full-time gig. And then all the other stuff has been my day job. And so, I don't know. I'm hoping that Missy and I really figure out if we're going to get our Master Gardener's certification. Is that going to be our thing? Am I going to do more design type stuff where I can come and help people in both regards? Or are we going to go houseplanty? I mean, before the dollhouse, Domesticate existed as a pop-up shop. Yeah. And I love the whole pop-up shop gig because I love shopping and I love design. So I get to curate from like the coolest, go to the Atlanta Gift Mart, get the coolest stuff, and then go do the Junior League show or go do a show and then just sort of make that, 2 weekends a month where you work to build the product and then you go and do it. So I've late in the night when Missy's probably sound asleep, I'm texting her like pictures of these really cool booths of plants. Because I'm
back to the card.
Yeah. Well, we've both gotten super into house plants, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
yes,
we could have like booths of plants, and we could do all this cool stuff, and our husbands could build us this whole thing. So I have no idea if it's going to be sales, if it's going to be design, or if I'll go back to minis and get more involved with brands. I'm excited that I've got one that I'm going to post tomorrow. I mean, I just have dropped a lot of it because I've been overwhelmed by having everybody in my space and not having a moment. And it's funny because laying in bed last night, I was saying to my husband, like, when Dad's working from home, nobody interrupts him all day long. No one walks in. Nobody asks him a question. It doesn't. I'm working and I say, I'm going to be in here and I'm doing this. And when I say all 5 of them, I have 2 children and a husband, but I have 2 dogs. So all 5 of them are barking at me. Like everybody, like during one call, I will get 5 interruptions.
Yeah.
Call or like a real focus on the computer is a magic. It's like a signal that goes out to the people.
Back to the days of the baby crying only when the phone rings.
I hate that. And then, okay, so I have so many things I want to talk to you about this, about the, like, what it actually means for a creative to not have a creative space anymore. Yeah. And I also want to know what the hell a pop-up shop is. But then I also want to know, like, what is that? And then I feel like the bitch for being like, and I understand that me looking at Facebook on the computer also looks like me
looking at
going over a speech for a conference that I'm doing, like or it's very hard for them to tell. But I also feel like anytime that my husband, and this is nothing against my husband because he's very good. He'll be the first one to be like, no, go do your creative thing. But I just think there's this familiar, I don't know if it is with the kids or if I've allowed them to do it. Probably I've allowed them to do that. There's such a difference between me looking at a computer and my husband looking at the computer and the level of respect that demands from my children.
So tell me if you agree with this, because this is something that I figured out last night, or I was able to come up with, is that it's kind of like you were talking about, the teacher belongs in the classroom. So when your kid sees the teacher outside of the classroom, they don't see it. Like my kids have never wondered what I do during the day when they went to school. Like every day they went to school and then I picked them up and I was always in the pickup line and I was always there. And they never asked what I did all day. Right. And so now we're in the panty and we're doing high school in our bedrooms and Dad's in the office and they do their thing. They have no idea what I'm doing all day.
Did you watch The Good Place?
No.
Did you watch The Good Place?
Yes.
Okay, so like Janet, who exists in her void.
Yes.
You're like, hey, Janet, and she's like a human.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like a human. Yeah, and so she just pops up. I feel like that's what moms are sometimes to kids. Like we exist in a void when they can't see us. And then like, hey, mama, and they need you to be right there. You need to be their Janet who has the answer right that minute. And it's really tough. I mean, just today I have a 12. Well, he's almost 12, and he's a good kid. And he heard me say, I need 5 minutes to finish what I'm doing. And he went, okay. And I think he gave me 2.5 seconds. And then he launched into the longest story I've ever heard about a video game. And I said, buddy, like, did you just hear me ask for 5? It was nothing that I was doing, but I needed to focus for those 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
No.
Yeah, I was out of my void. He needed to talk to me.
And like, and I hate to be, it's weird to just now be, I don't know why all of a sudden this week, I'm just furious about it. Because this has been going on for 18 years, but I'm just like, I've had it. And like, we're not even like, I'm out now. Like I'm in the community. Like I'm not even locked down. And I don't know why now I'm furious about it, because like no one even cares. Well, I think because we're all adults now, like the kids are 16 and 18, like they know,
they're big kids.
and they know what I'm doing, whatever. And it's like their whole lives, I drop everything the minute they walk into the room. So I've conditioned them that this is the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's not the way I want it to be. And now I have to change it. And then I feel like a total jerk.
I know. I feel like the bitch, like my son will come into my office like every 10 minutes and like give me a kiss. He doesn't really do anything else. He'll just come and give me a kiss and he'll be like, hi. And then he'll just kind of walk off. So he's not even super interrupting. But when I'm in a train of thought, I feel like a big bitch because I'm not like, because I should be like, oh, baby, like, how are you doing? Whatever.
Maya Angelou, I think it was, who said, when a child walks in the room, their parents' eyes should light up. And I heard that 100 years ago before I had children.
Mm.
And I always wanted to make sure that when my kids walked into the room, that it wasn't mommy hunched over the laptop going, hold on. And as a writer, that's really hard because when you get in your flow and in your zone, I wanted my eyes to light up. But I do think it, like, and maybe it's the pandemic is some of it, but recently I know at times my eyes are like, what are you doing here? Like, we're all home all the time. So everyone's always there. And it doesn't matter.
And I'm relatively new to AirPods. Like I was like anti for so long. And my place is the kitchen table. And unfortunately, that's like, it's my best ergonomic place when I'm not out here. And so I'm there, and then everyone is walking by getting a snack or doing a thing, and they'll talk to me, but I have my stuff on and my hair is covering it, and they think I'm being a jerk. And then it's like, Mom, like right in front. And I'm like, dude,
I didn't hear you.
And so then, it's hard when you're, the first thing you see is like rage. So it's figuring it all out. What I'm afraid of is I'm afraid that in the fall go outside.
Missy, are you okay?
I'm choking on the
hairball.
Oh,
she's okay.
Bourbon.
Goodness, tickle.
But I'm afraid that in the fall, everybody will return to life as normal. I mean, that's sort of the plan for my husband's office. Once everyone, once
they're
they
already
can
kind of open, right?
They're open, but I think so many moms are still in charge of school that they're really counting on when the kids go back to school that office work can resume, at least where he is. And then my daughter will be gone, and then my son will be a junior. And then I feel like I'll probably be the opposite, just crying alone. Like, where did all my people go? And now I have nothing.
I want someone to come tell me about a video game.
I know.
I think about it all the time. I think I am going to miss them. Like, I'm going to miss the noise. I'm going to miss the fact that no one can close the pantry doors. Like, why not? But I'm going to look up one day and the pantry doors are going to be closed and everything's going to be tidy and it's going to be so quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be sad, but it's still
But you're going to be a
hard.
master gardener.
But I'll be really busy. I'll be out. Like,
you'll be so busy. Yeah.
But I just, you're making that, like, your brain is misfiring kind of, because even though I know that, I also think it's really okay to be frustrated with them. Like,
yes.
Like, we need to do a thing.
Yes. And and I do think I'm going way back to like 10 minutes ago when Kate, you kind of said that like we've conditioned them to do this.
Yeah.
And I think we have. I want to blame everybody else in the world for like, why are children like this? But I do think that I have conditioned them. Yeah. And I'm sure that I mean, I could be like, oh, it's the patriarchy. Like, why aren't they bothering their father? But no, I'm sure that I am the one who has encouraged them to do this.
Yeah, because they weren't raised in a home that functioned under patriarchal. That's really hard to say, but we didn't operate like that. Like,
No.
it's not dad's in charge and mom is the little lady. Like, that's not, they weren't raised like that at all.
So I think I am pretty much the one that has trained them to do that. And it does come back to, like, I am the one who does not have an income, and how do we value our time, and then how do we value ourselves, and then we basically just let that roll into how they can value our time as well. And yeah, it's kind of a little vicious cycle because I know that they would never do this to their father. But it is not because he, like, it's so funny. I had
I mean,
my husband's a writer too, and I had him listen to the Mom Writes podcast that my friends Abby and Melanie do, and Jenny Nash. And I was like, it says it's for moms, but since you're a writer, you'll probably enjoy it too, or whatever. And he listened to a few episodes. Well, actually, he listened to a bunch of the episodes, but after a few episodes in, he was like, those episodes about how, the mom guilt of like not being able to take the time when you need to go write something and whatever. He's like, dads feel that too. He's like, when I go up to my office and close the door and say I need to write for an hour, he's like, I feel like shit. Like that. Yeah. He's like, that makes me feel like shit. I know that I should be out there doing something with the kids, but I need that hour and I just need to take that and then I can come out. So it's just kind of interesting because we call it like this mom guilt or whatever, but I think dads do feel it too. Either maybe they just don't talk about it, or we've just conditioned ourselves to just assume it's just all our responsibility. But I do think that they feel it too. It's like, no, that feels like to be like, I'm going to go up there and I know that you have to watch the kids for another hour. And he would be the first one back when we could leave the house to be like he would physically like push me out the door, like go to Starbucks, don't come back for 2 hours, whatever. I've got this. But I don't. And that's my fault.
Right.
Yeah.
Not anybody else's. It's not, I will find all the excuses in the world, but it's my own guilt that either I've conditioned myself to, just like I've conditioned the kids to have those expectations of myself. So like, I don't know, we need to get one of those coaches on to figure out like, how do we stop this habit for new moms from even happening?
Right.
Well, but I mean, I think it wasn't a problem for us when the kids went to school, because I had a very good use of my time when I had the house to myself. I had exercise, I had work, I had housework, I had stuff. And then I was 100% there. And if they interrupted me, there was nothing to interrupt after school, because after school to bedtime was mom time. So it's nobody's fault but my own. It's just the schedule changed. And for a while there in the middle of the pandemic, we were all just kind of, but now they're all on, they have a routine, but I'm still just somewhere right around here available at any time for a random query. And so it's something we need to fix ourselves, but I also don't know if I'm going to. I think this summer I'm just going to enjoy learning, with the master gardening thing. I've demanded some office hours, where I can be out here and creating, because I definitely miss that. And then just enjoy every single second I can get with the kids, because all of a sudden I'm feeling this empty nest vibe that is just so real, with one out and one foot out.
Yeah.
And I'm just, then what, and so I have to turn everything that's been a passion project or a hobby or a thing into a career, because I want to, like, I'm not, I've put them first, and now it's time for me to sort of turn it the other way. So
are there people in I would say that yours are well beyond a hobby or a passion project. I mean, you've made it so that there's some income. We don't need to get in the nuts and bolts, but income related with it. So are there people out there who could be your, oh God, Missy, I'm not going to have a word. What are the people who help you do things? Your mentor. Are there people out there?
I was like,
people that help you do things. My friend, the woman who wrote this book, Kay Bear, she is the Daily Minnie on Instagram and Facebook, and now she works for Instagram. And she has this coffee table book, which I was so excited to be a part of all of her favorite miniaturist work. And she has really been an inspiration to me. Like, she has become a friend and just, and a promoter, and she'll catch me when I'm not doing anything and say, where have you been, and get out there and whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, I've literally said no to brand things just because it's just hard. I think people see your following and they come at you with anything, but you want it to be on brand. And I like the idea of DomestiKateThis being my real life in miniature.
Yes.
So I'm excited that tomorrow I will be featuring a protein drink that I love. That's a chai latte, overnight oats that I love. And so I will feature it, but I'm not going to do something that's totally not me. And so anyway, so I think that, you know, it'll be interesting what it turns into. What I wonder is like, would I ever take this DomestiKateThis following and crowd and just turn it into something else? Like, I know a couple people who have done that, and I don't know who's listening from my group, but like, you know, I'm super into plants. Would I just stop posting about minis and just start posting about plants, or start posting about design and just totally change it? There's a miniaturist who I love who turned her whole feed literally overnight. She became a health coach. She went from minis to diet and health. And, you know,
did you keep following her?
I do.
Yeah.
And she lost her crew because there's people that just want to see little cute stuff. They don't want, they don't want to see anything else. But it's like one of those things where you have an audience. So then if you're sick of that thing, or you're not inspired to create that thing, do you just let it go? Or do you just, you're you? And are they following you because they love you? Or are they following the thing because they love the thing?
Right.
And so who knows what I'm going to blow up and light on fire, because it's
I love that.
I hate to ruin it, but it's also like, you know,
you know what? I have friends who will lose, and it makes me be like, what? They'll lose like 50,000 Facebook followers in a day because of a post. But it's because they're being themselves, and because they're authentic. And to me, I am happy to I have whittled down, I call it shaking the tree. I shake the tree on my Facebook page a lot. So people know what they're getting when they come to my Facebook page. And I feel that helps with engagement. It helps me feel like it's a safe space for me to talk. I think it helps them just know what they're going to get. So I do think, I mean, that's probably something you could do gradually. Like, you could have some mini plants for a while and be like, hey, y'all.
I was kind of thinking of keeping like the feed mini, but keeping stories real. Like, the stories are me, but the feed is mini, because I posted something after the election that I thought was just American. I didn't think it was political. I wasn't making a political statement at all. And I got a bunch of negative comments, and I lost a couple thousand followers. And I was just super, super surprised, because I thought it was just yay, America. And it was mini. Like, there was nothing like,
it was cute and tiny.
There was nothing crazy. And people were like, I'm unfollowing you because I just wanted to see little stuff, and I didn't want to see political stuff. And then I thought, like, okay, bye. But also, and then stop. Like, why are you still commenting? I thought you were leaving. Go.
I love those people that are like, I'm leaving. And then like 20 minutes later, still commenting like, no, leave.
But it's like, you can't win them all. And you can't, you can't make everybody happy. Even if you want it to be cute and tiny, people aren't going to like everything cute and tiny. But who knows? I mean, I think that, that's why I love listening to your podcast, is I'm listening to all these women who've made these huge pivots in their life, and then also like are so much smarter than me, and like have created all this stuff. And I'm inspired, and I love being a part of it. I'm so glad that you guys invited me to talk tonight.
Yeah. Well, no, I do think that that's the beauty of having a following like yours, because it's sizable. And you
Yeah.
got to think of the Venn diagram of the people that are you're following. Like, there's probably going to be those that are like all minis, but then there's going to be a lot that are like mini and like decor and plants and that kind of stuff. And
People who are just fans of Kate in
Or people
general.
who just
and then there's the other circle that's just Kate. Just like whatever Kate does, I will do it. I will read. I mean, I say that about like Peyton Price. Oh God, I'm still calling her Peyton Price. Kara, is it Kara or Kara? From Suburban Haiku. Oh God, you guys froze. Oh, you guys are frozen. We broke you. Oh no.
We're back. Are you back?
She's live.
Oh,
No, she's
I can hear you, but you're still not moving.
About what Kara, but I was trying to make the point that there are just people in my life, and I'm trying to remember Kara's how she actually pronounced her name, Kara. But she was Peyton Price of Suburban Haiku for the longest time, and I always said I would, if you just read the phone book, I would follow that. Yeah, because I just love her voice. I love everything about her. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't have.
There's going to be those people too. So you do what you want to do. I think that's the whole point of our podcast too.
Instagram. I mean, sometimes it's dogs, and sometimes it's plants, and sometimes it's books, and sometimes it's writing. Like it's just it's just my stuff.
Yeah.
Some things get more likes, or some things get a little more attention, and you can tell there's some stuff that people are like, thanks, but.
I think I need to be more comfortable with actually like being me. Like this is a big thing that I'm showing my face. Like it's always my hand in this tiny little thing.
Yeah.
So like I think people want to know the real person, but I like having a mystery behind the real person because I keep thinking like, who wants to know the real person? Like,
we all do.
But you know what I mean? Like I think that's part of it too, is that you have to be real and it's weird being in a world where it's like influencing where most people are 20 years younger than me, and so I don't fit that mold.
No, but that's okay because there's influencers for every group. I mean, I don't follow 20-year-old, although I have been listening to one of my daughter's favorite podcasts.
What is it?
I got to look it up. I feel like her name's Emma Chamberlain. Ella Chamberlain. I gotta tell you though, she's about to become my life coach. Oh, now I gotta look at her up. Is it Emma? I think it's Emma. Emma Chamberlain. I have no idea who this girl is, and she's got a podcast called Anything Goes. But my daughter's like, oh yeah, I've been kind of listening to it, so I was like, ooh, I'm gonna listen to that and see what's up. Make sure she's not like telling you to smoke the dope or whatever. But this girl is like it's like us if we would have been doing this like 30 years ago. And she's super sweet.
Smarter than I was 30 years ago.
Oh no, I was listening to these and I was like, yeah, Zoe, if you want to listen to this, I'm all for it. And she's talking about 20-year-old stuff and whatever, but she's really sensible, and she would probably be mortified to know that some 50-year-old woman finds her sensible and lovely. But
you just lost her.
Yeah, no, she's going out tonight and doing something
don't put
totally
that in the
wild.
Don't
let Zoe hear this.
Comment her rating.
Yeah.
No, but it's just kind of fun. So no, don't worry about those 20-year-olds. They've got their own things, and
they've got their thing, right? And we
need our 40 and 50-year-old women to follow. And yes,
yeah, or moms pivoting. Is that thunder?
I don't know. We're like gonna float away.
I can't hear anything. I'm in the closet, but yeah, it's been pretty serious around here today. Luckily, I voted right before the storm hit because it was like a shower, like a heavy shower.
Yeah.
I learned when I moved to Texas, because I was in Seattle for 15 years and I was in Austin for about 1 month. And I was like, don't even give me, because people would be like, oh, you missing the rain? I was like, do not talk to me about rain. This you have in Texas, like this is why they call it rain showers. Yeah. It's because it is literally voluminous. Was that a word? Yeah. Did I mention that my bottle's empty now?
Oh, did that happen while you froze?
Oh, we've upset the dog.
Yeah. He sees a shadow.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Seattle, like the world functions while it's raining.
Because it doesn't rain, it just kind of like delicately mists on you gently.
Yeah.
No.
It's life goes on. I mean, we've spent a ton of time there. We have family there, and life goes on, and everything keeps going while it's raining. And
you don't even need an umbrella for Seattle rain. That was really fascinating how you came out this way and then you came back the other way.
Because I was afraid of what I would look like coming back in. It was our husbands out looking at the rain or something.
Oh, I don't even want to know. I'm hiding in my closet. This is my safe space in case when they had tornado warnings the other night. We're like, where do we even go in our new house? We don't know.
I think tonight it's over, and then tomorrow the clouds will part and we'll have, I think.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to complain because I planted sod last month and this is all good for the sod. So hooray.
Yeah.
Okay, Missy, in traditional fashion, we are at like an hour and 11 minutes.
So I do think we need to wrap it up. And I feel like
I need to wrap it up. But I really want to finish this conversation because I still don't know what a pop-up is.
That'll be another conversation. Yeah. But we'll all be together.
Have big dreams for plant / I don't know what shops. I don't know.
Well, we've been talking about like an event space.
Yeah. Greenhouse / event space.
Yeah.
Okay. We need a volume 2 of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh okay.
Part of it. We are mom and
everything. We are mom and anything.
Yeah. We're all still dreaming.
Yes. Oh God, we killed you guys again. Just in case it's recording me and not those guys, I'm going to tell you where to find Kate. So we can find Kate at Instagram and Facebook at DomestiKateThis. So it's Domest and then Kate, Kate, this on Instagram and Facebook. And then, of course, you can find us at themomandpodcast.com. And that's and spelled out AND. And you can find all of our socials there. Oh, are you guys back?
We're back. Are you wrapping us up? That's good.
No, I was like, just in case I am the one that Facebook is recording, I just did our outro with Kate's Instagram at DomestiKateThis. And I was reminding people to follow our socials.
Right?
Yes, at the Mom and Podcast, AND, podcast.com. And oh shoot, we were gonna do a really super handy tutorial for y'all to figure out how to do ratings. And I was gonna go and actually rate, okay, the hashtag #amwriting podcast. How often do I talk about that?
We talk about that probably almost as much as we talk about mom too.
Have I ever rated it? No. I mean, how horrible is that? I mean, they've been part of my week every Friday for years. So I need to go rate. That's my pledge for this weekend. I'm going to go do that. The Mom Writes podcast, the bourbon's kicking in. Mom and Writes podcast that I just love. And we talked about tonight. I don't think I've ever rated it. I mean, there's so many. Have you ever done What Fresh Hell?
I have rated What Fresh Hell, I think.
Okay, good. I have not.
But I feel like I have.
Okay.
Let's say you've already, can you not rate again?
I should show that I have clicked. I think
I don't think it'll let you do a double rating.
Yeah, it shouldn't. That would be kind of sketch, but okay.
These really help us show up in like iTunes or in other podcasting apps. And so I never, ever thought I would beg for ratings and reviews because it's so out of my comfort zone. But if people listening feel comfortable, I told a friend the other day, I'm like, only rate us if you feel comfortable giving us 5 stars. And really only do it if you're comfortable with it. I'm not going to ask you to lie. And of course, she's a dear friend of mine who I've known like my whole life. And she said, well, I would totally lie, but I'm going to go ahead and rate you 5 stars. She listened later, but she was like, I'm going to rate you 5 stars and then I'll listen. But no, if you can't rate it 5 stars or you're just not comfortable doing it, we get it. But
yes,
can't.
But no, it does matter. And I've realized it as we are going to like select other guests to be on the show. Mm-hmm. That's something that you look to kind of validate, like, okay, are they legit? Did they just whatever? Right. And so it does help. It does help. And we do appreciate it. And I think you don't even have to write anything. That's why I never rated anything, because I thought you had to like write a big like.
You can just click do stars only.
Yeah, you can just click the stars. I always thought that you had to be like here are the 10 reasons why I enjoy the show. So I think I was always intimidated to do it, but no, you can just click the stars and be done with it. Or you can write, what's the sweet little review that we have? What do they call you?
Kissy.
Kissy?
The K is right above the
You
M.
guys still don't know who that is.
No, that was the sweetest review though, because it just sounds cute.
Like it sounds that someone, I don't know.
I mean, as a kid, I was often kissy missy.
Well, the K and the M are right next to each other on the keyboard.
Sometimes pissy missy. That
I put that in my head.
The P is further away on the keyboard.
They're right next to each other.
Yes. So no, I love that you are called Kissy on that review. And if anybody wants to misname either one of us on the reviews, that is fine, as long as you give us a nice star rating.
Nice.
And I think that our Facebook group has kind of been revived lately. We've been picking it back up. Wow. I feel bad because we were kind of like mellow there for a while, and I'm sorry for anybody that got ignored during the what is it called? The pandemic. The pandemic. But it's mom. If you're looking for the Facebook group, because I'm just really bad at branding things, it's mom and then the ampersand. You have to type mom space ampersand if you're looking for the group. But if you are looking for the Facebook page, it's mom and then the word and written out like the website. So you're welcome. You're welcome for complicating that. Yeah. But in order for it to look nice on the actual group, we had to do the ampersand. So, and we'll put links to it everywhere so you can just easily click there and find it. It is a super fun group. And we're going to be starting doing more exclusive stuff in there. I think like exclusive clips. We had some amazing ones from the Michelle Garrett, which we put those out for everybody.
What's that?
Did we already put that clip out for everybody?
Tomorrow, I think.
Okay, so that clip's coming out soon. So, oh my God, I had so much fun talking with her. So yes. Yeah. So from now on, when we have really good bonus material, I think maybe we just make it available in the group.
Facebook group only.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Patreon. Hey, give us the dollar bills.
We have like one Patreon.
For our one Patreon supporter who we're just gonna lavish with all the extra clips.
Yeah, it's our friend who is just so supportive. Like
yeah. Oh no. Well, I did that you talk about Adrienne Hedger. She's another one.
Yeah.
For the longest time, just loved her to death. I was consuming all this great information from her, and I found out that she had a Patreon. I was like, you know what? So I joined her Patreon, and it's not a huge. It's like, I think I'd give her like $2 a month or something, but it makes me feel good to know that I'm letting her do her craft and her art and have at least a little bit of income that from what I would support. So yeah, it's a nice way to do it.
It is. All right. I think we're going to wrap up, or at least
but it's only been 2 hours.
I know. I mean, there are people watching. It looks like. I thank you guys, whoever you are.
Are you serious?
Guys, yeah.
You are the best.
Numbers have fluctuated throughout, but I mean, there have been people there, so I really appreciate it.
I can't see them. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Look, like I think last month I was like, well, I can tell if anybody's here, and I can't tell how long we've been recording, and it's right there. Like,
yeah, we're the worst. We are the worst. It's because we don't see other humans, and I don't think my husband's home from Rainy Street yet, and so I got to go home and go home. I am. I'm not in a stranger's closet. These are my clothes. But I'm going to go downstairs in my home and make my kids pancakes at 8:30 at night because that's the kind of mother I am.
Saturday.
We have Tiff's treats waiting for us.
Shut up. I love Tiff treats. And I'm out of bourbon now, so I don't know what else. Well, there's a little.
You can Uber to Round Rock.
Make the pancakes.
Then call your Uber.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go make some pancakes. And then tomorrow, for anybody who missed any part of this that happens to be listening now, is like, oh, I wish I knew what they said the first hour. I will upload this. Maybe I'll do it Monday morning. Because you know what? The She Podcast group is saying that Monday is the best day to drop your podcasts. And I'm like, oh, well, how about Thursday? Because that's the day we do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll give it a try.
All right. All right. Well, we'll do our
Oh, sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
This
you.
was so fun. Thank
This
you.
was so fun. And I'm totally going to send you my backyard plans so you can be like, ooh, don't definitely do that.
Then next year, when you're adding plants, we'll be master gardeners and we can help you.
Oh my God.
We could do some of our volunteer hours in her yard.
There you go.
Ooh, you have to do volunteer hours?
Mhm.
Oh, you know, my favorite people in the world are people who are getting their massage therapist license and need volunteer hours.
Mhm.
They become my favorite people very quickly. Yeah, I need that. And I'll have my hot tub then.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you, ladies. I hope one of you is designated driver. I don't know.
Hopefully
I'm
Mark
home,
Stevens
so
is.
not
Yeah,
me.
she's home. Hopefully Mark Stevens is. Or
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay, good. You got Mark there to drive you. All right. Well, I'm going to go see who remains in my family downstairs.
all
Happy
right.
pancakes.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for the Mom and ... podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show today. And if you know someone else who could benefit from today's episode, be sure to share it with them. Also, please subscribe and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find links to all the things we discussed today in the show notes over at our website, momandpodcast.com, with the AND spelled out. In between shows, you can find us at the socials, including our private Mom and Community Facebook group. You can find links to the group, all of our socials, and our questions and comments section over at our website, momandpodcast.com. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you so much. Now go out there and make your ellipses count.